Welcome back. In the last video, we created 4 separate advice methods at before, at after returning, and at after throwing. But here's a question. Do we really need all 4 advice methods? Or can we handle everything with just a single advice? The answer is yes. Spring provides a powerful advice called at_around that lets you do exactly that. With at_around, you can execute logic before the method, after the method, access the return value, and even handle exceptions, all from a single advice. That's exactly what we're going to learn in this video. As always, we'll understand the concept with a live coding example. So, let's get started. Now, take a look at my screen. Spring provides the at_around annotation, and it gives you complete control over the method execution. That's why at_around is one of the most powerful advice types in Spring AOP. Next, just like the other advice methods, pass the same point cut. I'll simply use the log execution point cut method that we created earlier. So, the point cut part remains exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the advice type. Now, here's an important difference. Till now, all our advice methods had a void return type. But with at_around, that's no longer the case. The at_around advice is expected to return a value because it controls the entire method execution. The value it returns becomes the final result that the caller receives. Since the target method can return different types, I'll use object as the return type. Object can handle any return type, making our at_around advice flexible enough to work with any method. Now, here's another important difference. In all the previous advice methods, we used joinPoint as the method parameter. That was enough because we only needed information about the target method, like the method name, class name, or method arguments. But at_around is different. With at_around, we're not just observing the method execution, we're actually controlling it. Spring gives us complete control and lets us decide when the target method should execute, or even whether it should execute at all. That's why joinPoint isn't enough here. Instead, we use preceding joinPoint. Preceding joinPoint extends joinPoint, which means it provides all the features of joinPoint plus additional capabilities. The most important feature is that it lets us execute the target method whenever we want by calling the proceed method. We'll see how that works in just a moment. Now, let's start implementing the logic. The first thing we'll do is the work that normally belongs in at before. So, before executing the target method, you can write whatever logic you need. For example, you might log the method name, validate something, check permissions, or record the start time. For this demo, I'll simply add a log statement. This log will execute before the target method, just like the at before advice did. Next, I'll add a try-catch block. Next, I'll declare a variable of type object. Now, before calling the target method, we can do all the work that normally belongs in at before. For example, logging, validation, security checks, or anything else you need. Once that's done, we need to tell Spring, "Okay, I'm done with the pre-processing. Now execute the target method." So, how do we do that? It's very simple. We just call the proceed method on preceding joinPoint. You'll notice that proceed throws a throwable. So, the compiler is asking us to handle it. Now, if the target method completes successfully, that means no exception was thrown. At this point, we can do everything that normally belongs in at after returning. Remember, our response object already contains the value returned by the target method. So, if you want to log the response, modify it, validate it, or perform any post-processing, you can do it right here. This is exactly where the work of at after returning happens inside an at_around advice. Now, if the target method doesn't complete successfully, it will throw an exception. The type of exception depends on what the target method actually throws. At this point, you have complete control. You can handle the exception, log it, send a notification, return a custom response, or simply rethrow it. It's completely up to your business requirement. For this demo, I'll catch IO exception and then throwable. I'll print the stack trace so we can see the exception in the console, and then I'll rethrow it. Now, let's come to the finally block. This is exactly where you can do everything that normally belongs in it after. The finally block is always executed, whether the target method completes successfully or throws an exception. So, if you want to perform cleanup, release resources, log the execution, or run any common logic, this is the right place to do it. For this demo, I'll simply add a log statement. Now, the last thing we need to do is return the response. Remember, the response variable contains the value returned by the target method. If we don't return it, the caller won't receive the actual result. So, we'll simply return the response object. And that's it. And that's it. As you can see, we did all the work that normally belongs in it before. Then, we explicitly executed the target method ourselves by calling proceed. Once the method completed, we performed the work of it after returning. If an exception was thrown, we handled it in the catch block, just like it after throwing. And finally, the finally block took care of everything that it after normally does. So, with a single at-around advice, we were able to implement the behavior of all 4 advice types. Now, let's start the application. Hit the API. Now, let's look at the console output. First, you can see the before log. After that, the target method starts executing, and you can see the method logs. Once the method completes successfully, the after returning log is printed. Finally, you can see the after log from the finally block. As you can see, the execution order is exactly what we expected. So far, we've seen what happens when the target method completes successfully. Now, let's see what happens when it throws an exception. I'll go to the process payment method and throw an IO exception. Run the application again. Now, let's look at the console output. As you can see, an IO exception was thrown from the target method. And notice something important. Our IO exception catch block was executed. This means we received the exact same exception that was thrown by the target method. Spring doesn't change or wrap the exception when you call proceed. It simply propagates the original exception to your at-around advice, allowing you to handle it however you want. And that's it for this video. I hope you now have a clear understanding of how at-around advice works and why it's considered the most powerful advice type in Spring AOP. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.